I only have stupid things to say, so.
Warning to the folks that are entering right now before we get started, we are live on Twitch, so you need to keep the profanity to a 80% level, okay? And I know they're doing a big announcement over there. The folks on Twitch can't tell, but there's about 200 people in the audience right now. We're going to wait till so we'll start at the beginning. And do we have an hour? Does it say? Do we have an hour or do we have 45 minutes?
1 hour. 1 hour.
Excellent. So we'll have a lot of time for interactivity and Q&A. Fragging and whatnot. So the panel has evolved a little bit. It's now the rise of eSports and Twitch, or the rise of Twitch and eSports. Apparently, Twitch is sponsoring the panel. But thank you guys for coming. How's the retro going so far this weekend? Yeah.
Actually, sci-fi.
Awesome. Okay, so we actually have 2 live streamers. Are you streaming on Twitch or YouTube, Facebook?
Yeah, Twitch.
Oh, awesome, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, using Streamlabs as well. What's your name? We'll give you a shout out. Snow? Forbidden Kraken.
Yes.
Okay, everybody hit up
This
the
will be
channel.
uploaded to Twitch.
Yay!
Awesome, so we have 3 Twitch streamers in the crowd. So over here on your left, my right, I have the boys from Final Boss. Give it up for them. They had a long flight. There's a new airport up in Everett for those on the internet. There's a new airport, the Seattle airport south where we are, down in the Renton area, almost near Tacoma. But you guys came in from Everett, so thank you so much for coming down from this. Happy to be here. And to my immediate right, to your immediate left, if you're looking at us, is Miss Luna Lyrik.
Hello.
And Luna, I understand you are also from the greater Seattle area.
I am.
Tell us where.
Yeah, well, born and raised out here in this area, and I live down south, so.
Awesome. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes talking about Final Boss and their esports plans to take over the world. Their new esports franchise, so I'm super pumped to have them here. Do you guys have any jerseys that you're giving out, or no? I saw some other guys walking around with jerseys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Emilio.
Emilio.
Okay, so that is their brand. I like the logo. Then we're going to spend another 15-20 minutes talking about Twitch in general and turn it over to Luna here as she explains what she does. I've been told it is actually not eSports, though she does dabble, and we'll have plenty of time for Q&A, possibly some dance-off for karaoke. We'll see. You guys look like a fun crowd. We were watching earlier this video, if this button works over here. This is eSports. This is an event at the Barclays Center where normally you're sold out for games like basketball, all sorts of other eSports, or we call them T-sports in the business, the traditional sports. But this is electronic sports. So you're looking at a 17,000 seat venue sold out, where people are paying hundreds of dollars per ticket to watch people compete in video games. You guys, I don't know this particular tournament. This was in New York. I'm not sure who's in the final, but this is a game called Overwatch. There's 2 teams competing in the grand finals. These are franchises, of which Final Boss is one of them, a new franchise in the industry here. These guys are competing for millions and millions of dollars in prize pool. This has international reach. North America is actually the 3rd largest market behind what's happening in Asia and as we call it EU, Europe. So there's franchises, I believe. New York has a team, LA, Seattle is looking to get in the mix as well with some of these professional Overwatch teams. There's a lot of teams. Somebody's probably heard of Cloud9 down in the LA area, so they're spreading around the globe. So we already watched that video before the stream got started. But Keith and Dan, why don't you go ahead and take it away and tell me what you got going on here.
Thank you so much, Todd. Well, we'd like to thank Renton City Retro for hosting us today, and I'd like to give a shout out to them. And well, as you can see, we are a locally eSports organization based out of Seattle, Washington, or I guess the greater Washington. We can give you a little information about ourselves. My name is Keith. This is Dan over here. Dan. And then our marketing executive is Kathleen over there. She's with me. One of the biggest things kind of about Final Boss is both me and Dan kind of grew up playing video games. As I'm sure you guys all see that with our dope jerseys. But before kind of video games in general, I started as a soccer coach. So I used to coach soccer for about 4.5 years. And I've had the pleasure of coaching various age groups from youth soccer to teenagers, etc. And I think the most rewarding time I had as a coach was coaching our youth soccer academies. And, the reason is you get to develop the foundation and building blocks for them early, and then you can see them kind of prosper into top level players on the field. But the philosophy that we kind of stand by as like Final Boss is we have four philosophies. It is technical, tactical, communication, and mental. It's our building blocks for our team. It kind of defines us as a kind of organization in itself. Like for instance, I'm going to get into those right now. It's like our building blocks is like technical. It's just understanding the fundamentals of games. Doesn't matter if it's like an RTS, MMORPG, a fighting game, battle royale, but strengthening your understanding of the mechanics of the game is very important, especially when you're looking at eSports players. Also, with Dota and League of Legends, you know, the building blocks are kind of the same as what you kind of learn in like soccer and coaching soccer, etc., which is kind of awesome. Well, we're here to kind of build the technical skills for self-improving for a lot of players in esports in general, and we kind of want to be kind of the forefront of the state of Washington to kind of do that for kids and adults and even teenagers that want to be better at gaming but don't know how, don't have the tools, or you know, we want to be there as coaches and or you know, kind of improving from there and whatnot. Also, as tactical is our next thing, our philosophy is understanding the bigger picture of games and having a preemptive strategy ahead of time. In soccer, is being able to utilize your best players to the best of their ability on the field and off. And for gaming, it's like League of Legends, for instance. It's being able to draft certain champions, having certain advantages in the game, whether it's drafting early game champions or late game champions, and being able to utilize those to the best of their abilities. There's that.
I was just asking about the buildings.
And then we have communication, is being able to relay helpful, useful information to your teammates in an efficient manner. So being able to talk to your team, be very positive, especially when playing games. It's very key to success, especially in competitive games, and being able to, being able to talk to your teams in an effective manner. And then the last but not least is mental, is being able to self-improve in every game. As being able to improve in every game, identifying your underlying weaknesses and addressing them for yourself. Also being able to set your mind mentally after tough games, for example. So if you've been playing for a long time and you get very frustrated and not being able to kind of perform at your best, sometimes it's best just to kind of step away from the game, take a lap around the house or something, or just kind of relax for a bit, reset yourself mentally, and then go back to the game.
And that's kind of our main goals that we have for Final Boss, is to create a community where we can take those philosophies and implement them in not just a team of a select amount of players, but a whole community of different variations of games. And that's what our main goal is to do, is to give youth and just anybody just the ability to have a community that they're in that will support and help them improve moving as esports grows. And if they have that future in mind for themselves, they'll be able to achieve their goals, and we want to be there to help them achieve achieve their goals. And that's our main,
Yes.
that's our main goal, is what Final Boss is a more community aspect.
Just, guys, I got a question for you here from the Chatterverse. You mentioned League and Dota real quick. Are you guys specifically focused on those games, or?
So our main goal is we want to be a more leaning towards that competitive side of a community, which would be League of Legends, Dota, Apex Legends, Fortnite, all these big eSports games that are out right now. But we don't want to draw the line there. We are interested in having non-competitive communities, or even just we're interested in picking up any type of game and bringing those all kinds of different gaming cultures together. And so when you have a competitive player that wants to play a different game or outlet, well, that whole part of our community is there. And something that we're working towards right now is working on a World of Warcraft Classic community. That's probably our biggest move that we're going to be making here is we have a couple people we know that have a guild within that game, and it's not very competitive. We will be going competitive, but it's not to the eSports level. But it's like 260 players in there, and they will be joining us, and just growing the community in general, whether it's eSports or just gaming in general, it's just
Giving them the foundation blocks to be better as a player.
Awesome. So you mentioned youth. Is this all ages? Can I get my kindergartner involved, or what's the?
Well, that's the
I'm trying to
question.
put like
So,
a garbage bag
kind
in my
of, we
stuff
draw that
behind.
probably
Anybody got a garbage
probably
bag?
8 to 13, and then teenagers from 13 to 18, and even adults coming in, and just kind of running maybe potentially academies where we get them involved and get them into gaming, doing the building blocks for them and help them out. And probably even more better.
Awesome. And where are you guys at in your Twitch journey?
Twitch, we don't really have too much going on Twitch just yet. We're working on that next, but we're more focused locally at the moment, and just growing organically.
Yeah, because we have we kind of got this philosophy because of we used to team up locally, when we were younger.
Okay, so I can come to LAN events and
Yeah,
physically.
we got this idea from competing in a ton of local events, local tournaments. So we want to focus locally, and then eventually, we see Twitch more as a online, more global route, and we're not ready to move to that yet.
Okay.
We feel it's organic. That's
Gotcha.
how we build a good community.
You're focused on the hyper-local, kind of the grassroots esports scene for kids and adults, or is it mostly kids?
It's mostly for that type of aspect, it's more teenagers involved, but for the academies, it's more youth involved, so that they get started early, kind of understanding what we're about.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Luna told me briefly that she's done some work with kids. So, Luna, before you introduce yourself, tell me what St. Jude is all about. What's the deal there?
So Twitch is a great platform to do a lot of things for communities, build communities, but also we, this month, have raised about $25,000 for the kids at St. Jude, if you guys have never heard. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is the only hospital of its kind. They are doing life-saving research. They have taken the childhood survival rate of childhood cancer, specifically leukemia, from 20% to 80% in the past 30 years. They are an amazing, amazing organization to get to fundraise for, and kind of tying back to communities and gaming and esports, and Twitch as a platform. All of this was done through Twitch streaming. A variety of different streamers were a part of this fundraising goal. We had people who play Fortnite regularly, that's their thing. We have people who play indie games and raise money during their indie game streams. And then me specifically, I'm a creative streamer, so I raised funds while building cosplays and building Legos, and that's pretty cool.
So you say we, who is we? You?
We, me and our community, the Mooners, who are here watching live on stream right now. But also we had a group of other streamers, other live streamers who do this both part-time and full-time. Some of them are hobby streamers, others do it full-time, like I do as their full-time job.
Oh yeah, I grabbed a quick screen grab since
Oh
we
gosh, those
we
are
don't
outside.
have Wi-Fi in here, but this was from a couple minutes ago when you were sitting out on the sidewalk streaming. Explain to me what's happening here on the screen if I'm new to Twitch. What am I looking at here? You have
Well, you're looking at a
700
real great face, first of all. But you are watching a live stream. So basically what that is I took a cell phone, which is right there in the audience sitting with you guys, and I stream directly from my phone so I can actually take my community with me anywhere I go. Right now they're here at the panel with us, enjoying the panel with us, but they can go on vacations. Yeah, what's up?
Real quick, because I'm still running the stream.
Yeah.
What software are you using?
So I use an app called Streamlabs, but you also can stream directly from the Twitch application. It's fully functional. Yeah, after the panel, I can totally show you. It's super duper fast. What's up?
How do you look at your stream? What are some of the maybe to get something that can go on your stream access or where you can be it?
And so the question is, what if there's some content or something that you don't want on your stream? What do you do in that situation?
So unless you have already enabled saving your VODs, that content will be gone. If I saw you install the Twitch app today, so you probably don't have VODs enabled, which means that once you live stream it, it's gone. It'll be gone after stream.
And
You
so
have to
what's a VOD?
A VOD is your live stream. You can enable it to be recorded to watch later.
So a video on demand.
Video on? Yeah, I don't know what the app is for.
Awesome. So
I can't after the panel. Once we get through this, we'll be done at 4:45, and I'm happy to walk you through anything that you need.
So all these people on the right-hand side here of the screen, those are
Those are all my friends. Yeah, so those are the Mooners. Those are my community members.
okay.
So I get to interact with them live. There is a really low latency. Usually, the interaction is pretty immediate. So I get to talk to them no matter what I'm doing. So sometimes I'm gaming, sometimes I'm crafting, sometimes I'm traveling. And they honestly are what helps me to create content and conversation, to keep the conversation going, because as you guys know, even if you talk to yourself, sometimes you run out of things to say to yourself, right?
And so it looks like you had when we took the screen grab, there's 256 people watching. Is that today or is that now or what is that?
That was today. That was a
That was live
screenshot
at that
from
time.
today. Yeah,
So
that was
it's-
right before this panel.
Okay. Gotcha. And so I see 742,000, whatever that says there, 103. That's your number of subscribers or viewers? What's that number?
So that's 742,103. That's how many people have ever seen my stream. How many eyes, new eyes, fresh eyes, have ever looked at the screen. And then if you look up top, you can see followers. We have almost 12,000 followers. So of those 742,000, those are the people that said, hey, I like this. I want to see more of this. I will come back.
So tell me what the difference is between a subscription on Twitch versus what I think about. I'm just a YouTube geek, so I think about, I subscribe to hundreds of people on YouTube. Is it the same thing for Twitch?
No, so a subscriber on Twitch equates to, a subscriber on YouTube equates to a follower on Twitch. A subscription on Twitch is actually the way that Twitch streamers, or one of the ways that Twitch streamers can monetize their streams and create income. So there are 3 subscription tiers, $5, $10, and $25. People subscribe monthly, but they also can subscribe using what's called Twitch Prime. If you have a Prime membership with Amazon, you get 1 free subscription every month to a streamer of your choice.
Okay, yeah, I was told that you told me beforehand that Twitch acquired, or Amazon acquired Twitch.
Yeah, so Amazon owns
$1 billion
Twitch, yeah.
or some small sum like that?
It's just something little, pocket change.
So where do you see this being
3 to 5 years down the road? Just
Twitch?
wiping out TV altogether?
Yeah, I mean, live streaming in general is kind of becoming the new norm for the way that people are ingesting their media. Twitch has, I mean, I can't even tell you the numbers off the top of my head, but I can tell you that eSports events are pulling in more viewers, more fans than the Super Bowl last year, right? There was a huge eSports event. You told me this, and I can't remember.
Yeah, that's right. December 4th, the League of Legends World Finals had 205 million people live watching it on the internet, compared to 100 million people watching the Super Bowl live. So it's definitely already happening. We found, because of our internet, we had to find some other videos. So what are we watching here? There's a screen behind you.
Oh, that's me! Oh my god, I was looking for someone in the audience.
So this is, am I watching a stream? I mean, this is what you do. Where's the games?
So that's actually a just chatting stream. Here I'm carving a pumpkin and singing a song during Halloween. So what I do on my streams, we are what I call a true variety stream, meaning the stream is based more around my personality and my interactions with my community, and not necessarily the specific content that I make.
I just made their slogan. That was a I can't. Could somebody flip that and send it to them?
So do you ever play games? Sorry, she's losing control.
I do play
This is a cooking stream of some sort? Or?
Yeah. So this is a cooking stream. This was during my birthday. I had some friends over and we cooked. Anyway, that was not a good clip for you to play right now. She said a bad word. She said a bad naughty word. And then she hit me. So, anywho, I forgot the question now. Yeah.
So you do a variety. I asked, do you play games?
Oh, yeah,
What is a variety streamer?
So I play games. I get to do basically whatever I want. I'm inviting my community members. I'm inviting new viewers to be a part of my life. And like any person, my life doesn't consist of only one thing every single day. So I do play games. I play a lot of Switch games, Mario games. I play indie games. Right now we're playing through Borderlands 2 again because I'm so hyped that Borderlands 3 is coming out in September. Woo-hoo! So yeah, we do it.
Who's that?
That's Daddy Luna. I have some alter egos that also come and visit on stream sometimes. I have a theater background, so it's really fun to have an outlet where I can, become a character, create a character, and then bring that character to life during a live stream. Yay! Oh, look, there's Unity. I love him.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'll get off of that before we get in trouble.
Sweet. Yeah.
Let's open it up to Q&A from the audience.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first question is, Luna, how much do you pay for the different backgrounds and stuff like English, and all that?
So the question is how do streamers get all of those backgrounds and graphics up on your broadcast?
So when you're streaming from an actual computer or PC, you will have streaming software. I use something called Streamlabs OBS. Yeah, it's a great program, and all of that stuff is programmable. So you can put in your own images, put in your own backgrounds.
Now, is that something that you pay for?
No, you don't have to use HTML. It's really simple and user friendly, and it's free to use. Yes, you can.
Yeah, I just started a couple weeks ago. I'm already putting overlays of the chat into my screen.
Yeah. Streamlabs OBS it's really user friendly, and they've got a great support team. So you can ask them anything, anytime of day.
Other questions? Here we go. Oh, okay, I'll get back to you. Yes, Mr. Yellow Jacket.
For eSports, are you guys share some community? Do you have a facility, or are you guys just having to?
So the question for Final Boss was, you guys have a community, an online community. Do you have an office? Do you have a facility?
Usually we'll be working with the Renton City Retro for community space, and we'll be hosting tournaments and stuff, et cetera, for them, for team practice and stuff.
Okay, so you do events kind of all around the region at different cons, or are you into the schools at all, or?
We haven't reached out to the schools yet, but we would definitely like to pitch an idea to them.
Awesome. Next question, yes, sir.
I noticed you're mostly on the team aspect of eSports, Dota, League of Legends, CSGO, etc. Have you ever thought about like the individual aspect, like the FGC, fighting community, Pokemon community, etc.?
So the question is team esports versus individual esports.
Yeah, well, we've been thinking about that, and even speedrunners, for just actual any games, as we've been thinking about anyone that we can include. I mean, it's not just encompassed to just specific like team games like League of Legends, but we definitely would like to open it up to like speedrunners or fighting communities and stuff.
Another question, just really quick. Yeah, I know you mentioned like you're doing grassroots majority of the times. Have you ever gone anywhere like regional or national league yourselves?
Yeah, actually, we have a friend. Actually, that's on there. It's on one of our slides that we grew with. His name's Apollo. Yeah, the one in the background. I don't know if anyone does anyone play League of Legends here?
Yes.
So used to. Is anyone familiar with Team Echo Fox?
Yep.
So he's our buddy from playing close range. So he's the one who kind of got us. We train with him all the time when we were younger.
So he's on Team Equifox?
He's on Team Equifox.
So put that in perspective, Team Equifox, the name comes from a guy named Rick Fox, an NBA player who invested a couple million into putting together this franchise. This is a big deal. He's one of the top players in the world then, right?
Their team's doing a little shaky, but yes, they're mid-pack. But yes.
Gotcha.
But I think Equifox is one of the best fighting game community teams, but I think with Sonic Fox and all these, I don't know. Yeah. And I think the Keto.
Yeah. Until some situations happen and they have to drop.
Right. So.
Captain America, did you have a question? Did I miss you guys back there? No, they didn't have a question. Who else raised their hand? Yes, ma'am. Go for it.
So the second question was, the second question was, there was already
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to help you after.
Okay, free Twitch tutorials after. Yes, sir.
When you first started doing your Twitch streams, I was still figuring out the whole computing of it.
Yeah.
How did you snag your first handful of viewers that they're in? Oh man.
Okay.
So how
So
did you
this
get stream started?
This is a really great question, and it's something that I talk about a lot because,
You know viewers.
right.
Just have a stance.
So I've been streaming for almost 4 years now, and that's how I've gotten to where I am. So first of all, for the first 6 months, you are going to be talking to yourself the entire time. But the important things, the most important things that I can say are, number one, have a consistent schedule. If people happen by and they see that you're streaming and maybe they don't say anything that time, if they know that you're going to be on the next day at the same time, or if you have a set schedule, they know when their TV show is going to be on, they're going to find a way to come back. Yeah, exactly. Also, don't ever shut up. Even if it feels weird to be talking to yourself, but if you interact with yourself in a chat that's not there yet, it's going to seem more welcoming to somebody who comes in. So like, what I would do is I like to make up songs. So I would sit and sing a song about what I'm doing. I'm playing Undertale and now he's a cute skeleton gun. And by doing that, and by already like making noise and not sitting there silently, I'm already much more approachable than somebody who's just hyper-focused into a game. And then also finding other communities to be a part of. So make sure that you're active in other Twitch channels that are doing what you're doing. A lot of times, organically, you will get new followers when they find out that you stream if you're already immersed in other communities, because you build actual, genuine friendships, right? So to this day, this is what I believe, but Also, when you're starting out, it's important to remember that you want to make friends. You want it to be genuine. And if you're just, seeking viewers so that you don't have to be alone in your stream, that's going to read. Make sure that you're making an honest effort to engage and be friendly to everybody who comes by and gives you any of their time, because it's amazing that they're choosing you to spend their time with, as opposed to any of the other 15,000 streamers that are out there.
So do you solely and primarily engage with your followers and your subs, your community during your Twitch stream, or are you talking with them on Discord?
Oh, it's 24/7. So I've got a Discord. If you guys don't know what Discord is, it's like the most awesome social application. You can have voice chats, you can have video chats, you can have DMs, you can have individual channels that are all related to different interests of your community. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. I have sub nights every week where my tier 2 subs and I watch movies together and hang out. Definitely don't drink alcohol, because that is not appropriate for family-friendly panels. But doing this full-time, it is, I put in more hours than any full-time job that I've ever been a part of, but I'm passionate and love it, and that's kind of what you gotta do.
So there's family-friendly content on Twitch,
yeah.
and I guess you identify as the opposite, but...
Yeah, I am not that. I am a mature audience.
So when I go there, am I presented with some sort of dialogue that lets me choose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a little button, so this stream is intended for mature audiences. Are you over the age of 18? And click the button.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how many, let's see, how many of there are you out there? How many full-time Twitch streamers are out there in the world?
A lot. I don't know exactly how many.
Okay, great leading question. So the answer is $35,000, or 35,000 people.
35,000 full-time streamers.
Yes, sir.
So, community-wise, if I was wanting to switch the program, go community-wise, here's SOBA meetings, what other meetings can I go to get my name on posts?
Yeah, so actually a few of us here are from SOBA and met from SOBA. We've got some of the Twitch guys back there. We got Ninja up here.
So the question was, where do you go to get involved in the Twitch community?
If you want somewhere that you physically can go and network and interact with other people, and not just Twitch community, but the gaming community, there are game devs, just people who view on Twitch, it's not just streamers. If you want to interact with people who you have something to relate with, which is gaming and maybe also Twitch, there is a monthly meetup at GameWorks. It's the SOBA meetup, Seattle Online Broadcasters Association. It's the second Saturday of every month from 6 to 9 p.m. upstairs at GameWorks. They rent out the whole bar. There are speakers. They have game devs come, and you can try new games. There's alcohol and giveaways, and it's really great. If you have the Meetup app, you can RSVP on there and get a raffle ticket for their cool giveaways.
And I've been told, although our film industry is smaller than LA, we actually have more streamers per capita than anywhere else in the US.
We do, yeah. Yeah, there's lots of streamers out here.
Awesome. Any other questions? Captain Merrick, I'm still waiting for you. You got
Well,
one?
I had a new question.
Okay.
What made you decide to go with Twitch, say, opposed to YouTube or any of the other services that gets video out there?
So for me personally, Twitch made sense because Twitch, generally speaking, has a less toxic community. When I first started on Twitch, it wasn't for a full-time job. I started on Twitch because I didn't know how to make friends. You guys probably can't tell because I'm in my element right now, but I'm pretty socially anxious. Human beings scare me when it comes to becoming friends, and Twitch felt like a safe place for me to go. After I experienced the community on Twitch, it just made sense for me to stay. There are definitely other streaming options out there. There's Mixer, there's live streaming on YouTube. But for me, Twitch is a perfect fit for the type of community that I like to build.
Yes, sir.
There are lots of ways to monetize on Twitch. So the first way is the subscriptions that we talked about. Once you have an average of 5 concurrent viewers and 50 followers, then you can get what's called affiliate. So you get a sub button, and you also can earn revenue through Amazon's currency, which is called bits. So 1 bit equals 1 penny. You also can earn revenue from donations and tips from your community members. So that's a secondary way. And then there also are secondary subscription sites. Like I have a Patreon as well as my Twitch. So my Patreon, I create specific content just for Patreon, and then Twitch gets its own content as well. You can also monetize through sponsorship opportunities. Once you become a partner, you get access to something called a bounty board, where you can do live ads to get ad revenue. You can also play ads during your stream to get ad revenue based on your average concurrent viewership.
So from the screenshot from an hour ago, I saw there it's the Unity Minds giving a shout out to Arthur K72. Thank you for the 1,000 bits. So that's a virtual currency?
Yeah,
basically?
so that's an Amazon currency. The user, the chat user, purchases those bits from Amazon, and then they can use those bits, that Amazon currency.
So you're buying everybody in your dinner. That's $1,000.
No, that's $10. So 1,000 pennies. A bit is 1 penny.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so are you a full-time employee of Twitch, or how does that work?
No, so I'm not employed by Twitch. I'm self-employed. I just stream on the Twitch platform.
Yes, sir. Yellow Jacket.
You said earlier that you donate money to Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
You said, is it you and your community, or is it you and the community of streamers that you have that donate?
So this is fun to explain. So for me personally, what I chose to do was the month of May, all of my income goes to St. Jude. So rather than people donating to me, I have links up for St. Jude. So I basically sacrifice a month worth of income in order to create a platform where others can donate and contribute to the fund. But when I have a streaming team that's also raising money for St. Jude, and so my donations have gone to their stream. So I also have donated money out of my pocket on top of not making income this month.
So your followers, your viewers
Yes.
are your donors, or are the
Yes,
donors?
yes, my viewers and then the viewers of the other streamers
Of
as
the
well.
other streamers.
Yeah.
And are they local people donating to St. Jude's, or is this from all around the
All
country?
over.
or the world?
This is international. We have people, St. Jude touches everyone around the world because of their life-saving research. So people, from the UK are donating to this fund. People from Canada and Mexico and all over the United States and in Asia, like there are donors from all over.
Yes, sir.
This is a question for the final boss. I'm looking to get involved in the eSports scene. Are you guys looking for any extra help or graphic design work at the moment?
So the question was, how does he get involved with the esports scene? And he's also doing a job interview right now.
Did you bring your resume?
You can get it online.
We are definitely interested in that. Gosh, I just blanked on a complete question, but we are looking to.
Do you need graphics designers? Do you need a Photoshop wizard?
We do need a Photoshop wizard. We have been outsourcing.
He's skilled in Illustrator too. He's a vector graphics guy.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk to you after the panel.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Awesome. Mr. Marvel back there, so your hand go up again.
So you said you'd been streaming for 4 years, and now you're doing it full time. At what point did you switch over to full time, and how many followers did you have, or subscribers did you have at that?
Okay, so I couldn't tell you my follower count when I went full time. Honestly, on Twitch, your follower count is not an analytic that is necessarily representative of your success. Some people have 11,000 followers and they stream to people. Some people have 11,000 followers and they stream to several thousand people. So the follower count is not something that you necessarily pay attention to as a gauge of success. But to answer the rest of what you were asking, I went full time 2 years ago. I had gotten my affiliate, meaning that I had 5 concurrent average viewers at the time, and I had over 50 followers. I realized very quickly after I got my affiliate that I was making more pay than I was at my full-time job. And so I saved up as much as I could so that I gave myself a cushion, a safety net, right? And I quit my job 2 years ago with the intention of, okay, if this doesn't work after 6 months, I'll go back to work because that's when I'm going to run out of money. And it ended up working out. And so I've just been full-time ever since. And the subscriber count fluctuates. So this month, subscriber count is low because we've been doing the St. Jude stuff and not pushing subs, but I usually fall anywhere between 500 to 1,000 subscribers on any given month.
Yes, sir.
So, kind of on the esports side of things, quick question. So I hear about the big tournaments and things. How big is there kind of like minor leagues or sort of like lower tier kind of regional leagues going on as well? I guess what's kind of the part that we don't hear about?
So the question is, besides the upper echelon of the esports, what's down there? Are there minor leagues? How do amateurs get involved and work their way up to becoming number one in the world?
There definitely are minor leagues. For instance, just to use League of Legends as an example, they're one of the bigger games out there right now. They do have, they call it the Challenger Series or Challenger teams. And so every main pro team that is on the roster has a kind of a partner, brother team that's smaller. There's always tournaments going on and stuff, and it just kind of depends on what game you're talking about. League of Legends side, Riot kind of controls the entire aspect of their competitive side. So outside of their events, there isn't much going on because those professional players that are on those, that are with their partner companies, can't play in like third-party events. So you won't see like Team Echo Fox coming to Seattle for some, for like I can't think of
An amateur event.
Yeah, an amateur event or something like that.
But maybe a different game, like, I don't know, like Smash Brothers is different, and like Counter-Strike might have different tournaments for things like that.
And in those scenarios, there's a ton. Counter-Strike is a perfect example. There's a ton of semi-pro teams.
Yeah, so just to be like you said, yeah, it just depends on what kind of game you're looking at specifically.
And I think asking a question about esports is kind of asking a specific question about the Olympics, as there's so many different sports underneath. And Counter-Strike, Valve has more of an open business model where they give the software to the community, and there's dozens of independent companies that are organizing tournaments with prize pools in the millions of dollars range. And then there's, they mentioned some of the tighter publishers that try to keep things in-house and control the dialogue. I think a good website, a good resource to look at what's happening in esports as a whole as far as the tournaments on any given day is esc.watch. It's got a list of everything that's out there, from a $1,000 tournament to a $10 million tournament. Yes, ma'am.
You guys mentioned academies. I didn't hear much about it. Can you elaborate on kind of the idea of academies and whatnot?
So we're going to be working with Renton City Retro with getting the space, and we're going to be running academies hopefully in the summertime, starting this summer. And we're looking at seeing if we can get enough youth to sign up and seeing if we can actually hold like a coaching player kind of thing, where we go in and coach some youth players and kind of give them the ideas that we have to improve players and give them the tools to get better as a player, etc.
So it's basically, for those here in Renton, it's like a SkyOx camp.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
But for esports.
And where can they get more information about that? How do they get in touch with you?
At the end of the panel, we give out some business cards and go from there.
Awesome. You guys, do you want to give a shout out for the online audience, an email or URL or anything to get in touch?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook at Final Boss 206. Email is, I believe, I have to pull it out.
We don't know off the top of our head.
I don't know off the top of our head, but
when you're the boss. boss, you wouldn't have to know that, right?
Exactly. finalboss206@gmail.com. And then from our Facebook, you can find our Twitter and Discord link.
I saw another hand earlier and I ignored you. Nobody else?
Well, wasn't my hand earlier, but I'll ask another question.
Okay.
What percentage do you, or how many hours do you stream and how many hours do you prepare each week for those streams?
So the question is, what's the hours, how many hours are you live on stream versus how many hours are you preparing?
So usually any given week, I'm live anywhere from 25 to 40 plus hours. Just honestly depends on the week and the content. As far as prep time goes, just to get ready and shut down from stream, that's an hour on either side of that each day, and I do that 5 days a week. But the preparation, the networking, the being live on socials, all of that, that's all day long. So I have specific times that I'm on specific platforms because it's the best time to be on a platform. But my phone is always with me. I'm sure you've seen me over here doodling. That's because I'm talking to the Twitch chat that's here watching the stream as well. It's, I don't know, to really try and sit down and think about the amount of hours that are in, I mean, at least 80 plus. But, you know, that's
Someone from your online community here is saying, today we did your hair, that added an hour.
So it depends. If you're doing it as a hobby, you know, if you're not doing it as a full-time deal, you don't have to spend that much time. I would say spend at least an hour or two on social media each day, making sure that your platforms are active and you're being active with your community. And I would say stream minimum 3 hours per stream. That's a good amount of time to get on an upswing and gain viewership. And as far as days per week, if you're doing it as a hobby, again, do what's comfortable for you. You're not gonna, when you first start, you don't wanna go in, all in, balls to the wall, right? You're gonna burn yourself out if you do that. But yeah, starting out, just 1 to 2 hours per day on socials outside of stream, I think is a good place to start.
Any other questions? Captain Marvel's friend. We haven't heard from you in the back with the nice slick hair, with the twitch.
Yeah. No, I just kind of caught the tail end of everything, so I was volunteering.
Oh, okay.
Not much more than after the show, maybe since I lost that question. How do I get on the eSports?
So if you, I normally have a bot up. I can give you the link after. I normally have a bot going, but I actually wasn't expecting to be streaming because normally service isn't that great for these things. So
the question was, how do you join Discord? So is Discord a free app that's open for everybody to join people's channels?
Discord's a free application. You can use it on a web browser or you can use it on your phone. Even if you're not streaming, I know Todd here has a Discord for his highschool.gg that he does, which is, they do have a Twitch stream, but it's just a great place for your community to, you guys have a Discord? Yeah, so it's free to use and it's great for community building, it's great for connecting with, for you to connect with your community, but also a fantastic way for your communities to be connecting with each other, building relationships and making friendships outside of, you know, just you.
And I don't like to self-promote when I'm modding panels, but just in case somebody brought something, I did bring a slide. So our company is called highschool.gg, so we focus on esports, obviously at the high school level. We have a full curriculum that we're launching in Washington State and a bunch of other states that teach kids specifically how to basically own and operate an esports franchise and Twitch channel and empire in their schools. So they learn not necessarily how to play the games, they already know how to do that. So we're teaching them how to do the broadcasting, the camera work, the video editing, everything that goes into it so that they can learn skills that translate to real jobs in the esports industry and beyond. So see me after if you're interested in that. Yes, ma'am.
So,
whether it's streaming or playing games professionally, that takes up a lot of your time, it takes up a lot of hours. How is it that you guys are balancing your personal lives along with, making sure that you're still putting out content, or you're still, getting your hours in practicing and doing that kind of stuff?
So the question is kind of around work-life balance or even just management within your business. How do you allocate your time?
We do eSports stuff at work.
I could kind of fill that question because I actually I'm an affiliate on Twitch. I do a little bit of streaming on and off. And like she said, the biggest thing is being consistent. That's the biggest thing that you can do on Twitch if you want to grow your stream is be consistent. That's what I haven't been because of work-life balance is a perfect example. So
great question.
Yeah, great question. It's really tough. It's just all about time management and sticking to a schedule. I mean, don't overwork yourself. Of course, I don't have I haven't implemented it to the maximum. That's why, I go hard on streaming. I do make a schedule, but then the toughest thing for me streaming was being able to play with my friends. It was different from what I was streaming. So I was streaming. I wasn't a variety streamer. I was streaming World of Warcraft, and I was doing commentary. And as a commentator, I'm not actually playing the game. So while my buddy Keith here is playing, whatever game he was on, I was just commentating World of Warcraft for 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours a day on stream, and that's where I got burnt out, as she said. While working full time, I got burnt out, and so I stopped streaming that and lost my following essentially. Just as like a normal person that streamed, and I was up to about 50 consistent viewers on schedule, but I pretty much had to choose: do I want to spend my time with my friends, or do I want to try to grow my Twitch? It's really hard to balance, but I think looking back, if I would have set stricter time, stream for 3 hours and stuck to that instead of extending it. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's all just really goes down to basic time management and just setting a schedule.
Luna, I'm getting a kick out of reading your chat.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
Sorry, go ahead. To be a good online streamer, one must have perseverance and nice toes. That's what your audience says.
Yep. That's a Twitch meme. But so for me personally, my work-life balance is that I feel like I am the luckiest person in the world to get to pursue my passions as my full-time job. And so for me, work and life, there isn't really like a hard boundary. There are definitely things that I keep private for my private life just to keep my sanity, but I don't know, when I am streaming, that's not the work part for me, that's the fun part. I see my community, they are my friends, they're some of the most supportive, amazing people that I've ever met in my life. And I get to, on my downtime, edit photos and hang out on social media and, make new friends. My job is literally to make friends. So my balance is every once in a while, I completely disconnect once a week. I have a no social media day where I have scheduled social media posts that go up, but I have nothing to do with them. And I disconnect, I sit down with my dog and watch Netflix and make sure that I go out in nature and put my phone down. But if you really love what you're doing, it becomes, becoming full-time has made it more possible for me to have that. Like I said, I was working a full-time job when I first started doing this, and that was really difficult, and definitely limiting yourself to 3 hours, and limiting, the days that you're online, and remembering that your full-time job is what's making you money and paying your bills, and you want to do great at that, and kind of making Twitch or online content creation secondary to that is important if you're not full-time content creating.
And some of your friends online, I guess they can see your feet right now, so they're requesting that you make a motion like you're driving a car, pressing the gas pedal. They want more you guys to do that. It's currently visible there.
Invisible.
Big shout out to my boy pen pusher. How you doing? Okay, well, we're gonna wrap up a little bit early because it seems like there's some individual break-off questions where you guys wanted to talk with the folks offline and off mic. So we'll do that. Thank you so much for coming and enjoy the rest of the show. It looks like we have another panel coming up here, so nobody go anywhere. Looks
Those
like
are
another
good friends of mine. You will
Twitch-related panel.
love talking to them. They're lots of
Yeah, it looks like there's an hour break.
Oh, there's an hour break. Oh, okay.
I don't think
It was
so.
supposed to be at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's just 15
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
That's
Okay.
15 minutes.
Good, so it's coming up soon.
Yeah, there are two different schedules floating around, but the one on site says 6 p.m., so.
Oh, well, we'll ignore that. Check out the food truck real quick if you want. We'll come back.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. It was awesome getting to talk to you. Enjoy.
Thank you, Brian.